Well, good morning, Andy. It's great to have you here at the Rasta Pond. It's your first time, right?
This is this one, yeah.
So what do you make of my new pond then?
It's very nice, proper build.
Compared to the old one where you had
Well, yeah, I remember the old one as you do when I was there doing an RO system on your pond.
Yeah.
My big fat stomach won't go past the showers. But
Well, I've made this one with you and me in mind, so it works. Well, you're here today because you're going to fit to my pond an RO system, recycled RO system, because I'm on a water meter and I don't like paying a water bill.
No.
None of us do, but it is what it is. What can we do? We can't all move houses and dig boreholes in. So why don't you explain a little bit about what a recycled RO system is, or really what is RO?
Yeah, well, traditionally you use an RO unit to purify your water down to a TDS of around about 4 and a pH of 6.8 or 6.5. Traditionally, with a 40-40 membrane, you're looking at putting 6 litres of water into a membrane, and you get 3 litres of pure, 3 litres of waste. So it's really, really wasteful. For people on a water meter, you're using 6 litres of water because 6 litres is actually going down a drain. You're putting 3 litres of pure water into your pond, which is overflowing because you're doing it through dilution, and you're putting 3 litres down a drain. So you're using 6 litres of water, and for on a water meter, it's crippling.
Yeah.
So years ago, about 8 years ago, 9 years ago, there was a group of friends around my pond, and I was running RO up as traditionally with a normal RO unit off the mains, and I thought, you know what, I can get this water from my pond and put an RO unit, put it through an RO straight out the pond. And I got a jug, Pyrex jug, clear Pyrex jug, took a scoop of water and I held it up in the air and said to the lads, what do you think of that? I said, that's clear, so I'm going to RO that. Yeah, you crackers. So I'm telling you, I'm going to do it. So I built a 600 gallon pond in my garage and I run this RO unit on this pond. There was 13 fish in 600 gallons,
Wow.
tosi, and the pond run a TDS of 50, a pH of 7, and I've brewed fish from 20 cm through to 45, 50 cm, no problem at all. It would run traditionally all that RO, so it's recycling RO water and topping up with RO water. So I had bicarb dosing, all the gizmos on there.
I remember, I've seen it.
Really nice thing. I've burnt loads of pumps out, trying different things.
I did as well.
Blocked membranes up,
Yeah.
did all sorts. And I got to the stage where I thought, I need to get bigger. So I went and got bigger. I built 2 units running at the same time. So one would push the water into another one, and I was doing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Because from an engineering background, I tinker and play with loads of stuff. My missus is always saying it does her head in because I'm always in the garage doing something. So I thought, right, I'll do 40-40. I'll try it with 40-40. And I've done 40-40 now. And I've just done a quote for a bloke. Just imagine this, he's got a 23,000 gallon pond.
Yeah.
He does a 10% water change per week, so that's 2,300 gallons.
Wow.
I can halve his water bill and triple his water changes. So he'll be changing over 6,000 gallons per week instead of 2,300 and halving his water bill.
Well, we all like the sound of that, especially my missus would like the sound of that. I mean, I'm not changing a lot of water, but let's go all the way back to the beginning. Why do you think RO is important? Or why do you think the TDS being low, the pH being low? I know Mike is a sort of the pioneer on RO and koi ponds. It's been around, in, as you've seen, a discus tank when you went into the house. But why do you think it's important to have RO or soft water?
Well, it's Mike's fault that I'm doing this now, really. It's all because of him. Years ago, I read all the literature of what he put out, and he was running RO, and a group of friends thought, well, you know, this makes sense. That's have low TDS. My tap water, straight out the tap, has got a pH of 8.4.
Wow.
And 460 parts per million TDS.
So mine at 7.3 sounds like, oh, that's not bad.
Well, I don't know what you're messing about at. So I'm dealing with really high levels of KH of probably 10 to 15 and a GH of nearly 30. It's horrible. Wow. So I thought, well, that's a run RO. Yeah. And you think about ammonia in your pond, you might have a slight spike of ammonia in your pond. At a pH of 8.4, really damaging because it's in a sliding scale. It gets
Yes.
more toxic the higher pH is. So if you can get down to nearer to 7, any slight traces of ammonia in your pond would be it's nothing not
No
detrimental
effect.
to the fish at all.
Yeah.
So I thought, yeah, we'll try this. Anyway, I tried it. A lot of people are sceptical on RO. A lot of people diss it. You've got to try it for yourself and see how it goes
Yeah.
on. Now, the one benefit I saw was treating fish. If you've got fish got a knot, people were taking fish out, injecting them. There was doing clean-ups on ulcers and stuff like that. I can't remember the last time I had a fish out of my pond. If one's got a knot because of all been scrambling for the feeder,
It
I
mends
just leave it.
itself.
I don't bother because the TDS is that low.
I was sort of giggling there because in my old pond, once I started running RO, I realised the fish looks after itself.
Yes.
I wasn't buying any medicine,
No,
any treatment, anything whatsoever.
No. My medicine chest, everything's out of date because I've not used
you're
it.
not using it.
So yeah, that's,
so in a sense, the pH and the TDS, in your read and your understanding and mine, it has to do with really ammonia.
yeah. Well, pH especially. It's not
pH,
not TDS. TDS is not really nothing. It's
To do with the
not
ammonia.
on that. But you're lowering the load on the pond with a TDS. pH is more important because if you get to a neutral pH of 7, ammonia is not really detrimental at all to a fish, but you get to 8.4, and if you've got a slight spike, that's worrying them. A young lad got in touch with me 3 weeks ago, and he wanted some advice on RO. People are ringing me up all the time, messaging me for advice, and I'll just give it. He's put an RO unit on his pond. I said, look, he said, what did it do? I said, well, look, you see for yourself. And he talked to me the other night. He says, my fish seem happier.
Yeah.
I said, well, you was running 8.2 on your pond. You're now down at 7.5. Your fish are probably happy because you've got a little bit of ammonia in the pond. And it's not burning them the gills or whatever it does to a fish. It's fine. So you've got to try it for yourself. And people have tried it and said, well, there's no difference to what my tap water is. Well,
you know, I've been to Japan a number of times, as you know, and I test the water south of Japan. I've not been to north, but most of the breeders I've been to, all their pH is really low, 7, 7.2, and I mean, you got to remember they're farmers, right? They're not koi hobbyists like you and I. But in talking to them, through translation, obviously, they think that anything that's above 7.6, 7.7 with a high KH needs addressing in some way, you know.
I mean, Mike makes sense. Well, you listen to what Mike's got to say. You think if a fish is an origo, it's used for breeding, how old it is. It's been in that water all that time, and through the years, those fish have been kept in that pH of 7 and a low TDS, and they're used to that.
Yeah.
We bring them out of there, and then people say, well, that photo's brilliant. It's been in my pond 6 months, and it looks horrible. Why is that? Because it probably comes to something to do with your pH of your water or your TDS.
Yeah.
It's all mixed in together.
Yeah.
So I'm converted. I'm not trying to convert anybody. You have to make your own mind up and say people's got different purse strings, and if you're on a water meat, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
So I've gone to recycling the pond water where instead of using 6 litres of water, you probably only use a litre, and we'll get 6 litres, 5.4 litres of pure water out of that unit to 1 litre of waste. And you make your own mind up. I've got people around the country using it. They're all happy.
Yeah. Well, you're here to fit one at this pond because, as you know, my pH is not terrible. 7.3 is workable, but the GH is a little bit too high. I don't like a GH of 11, and I don't like the KH at 6. So I want to bring that down and the TDS down. So, and also I want to save money on my water bill.
You'll save money.
You know, so that's why you're here to do this. So you're setting up your own business at the young age of 35.
So I thought I'd come here for a haircut.
So tell us a little bit about your business and what you're going to do.
For years now, I've been tinkering with RO and doing bits and bobs with ponds and helping people out. And people have said to me, why don't you set your own business up? Because I've been working in a factory now 40, whatever years it is now.
I don't think you're old enough to be working for 40 years.
I wish I was younger. Oh dear. But yeah, I've been working in a factory, and when you get used to having a wage of whatever it is, and it's comfortable. So to take the plunge and set your own business up, is a big step, and especially
Sure.
at my age. I pay for my house and everything, but I've got a regular wage, and all of a sudden, I've got no money coming in because I've packed my job up. Well,
Yeah.
the thing what pushed me, got made redundant.
Right.
I worked in a food factory, and it was due to shut on May the 1st, and they shut it early because of the COVID thing. So it shut on April the 8th. So since April the 8th, I was paid till May the 1st. I've been sat at home thinking, what am I going to do?
Right.
What am I going to do?
You can't go back to match fishing as you used to
Well, I
do.
used to be successful at match
Yeah,
fishing.
people don't know that, but you
No,
were very
it's-
successful at
yeah,
match fishing.
so I thought, what can I do? What can I do? And I got another job. I went for an interview, and I got the job straight away. He says, you know, with my experience and everything, we'll set you on tomorrow. So I sat at home and I thought, I've got all this spare time on my arm, on my hands. I'll build a proper RO unit. I've got this unit, and it'll produce 8 litres of water from a tap. And it's a massive amount of water for a unit, RO unit. It's more or less an industrial one, but not on industrial prices. Probably half the price what you're talking for an industrial unit. So I built that, and I thought, I'll set my own business up. So it was March, before I got finished, I thought, I'll set my own business up. So I set the company up. But it's a bit, what is it say? It's laughable really, the name. Somebody suggested Finch Filtration
Okay.
Innovation Systems because of the recycling RO.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, I'm going to do it. So I did it, took another job, and I thought, do you know what, this isn't for me, I'm going to jack in. So I handed my notice in, and I thought, what else can I do to complement this? Well, I go for people's houses, I put RO units in, and part of this is water purification, tap water purification, selling cartridges, bone char, granulated activated carbon, and another thing I'm going to stock, it's being ordered today, is a carbon called catalytic carbon. Now, people won't have heard that.
I know what a catalytic converter is in a car.
Yeah, well, you look up catalytic carbon on Google, and it's specifically made to deal with chloramine.
Really?
Yes.
Right.
So anybody with chloramine and they're having problems, I'll be selling catalytic carbon. And so if you don't want to buy a 25 kilo bag, I'll do refillable cartridges. I'll fill a cartridge up, you can put it on your system and see if it deals with it. You haven't got to buy a massive amount then, try before you buy. If it works, buy more.
Right.
But that is a big thing. So I've set the business up, I'm going to do water purification, try and compete with everybody on internet prices. So when the website's set up, which is being set up this week, ring me, message me on Facebook, anything you want to do, I'll give you a price and I'll match any internet price you're getting. I'll look after people. I'm not one of the sort of people I'm out to make money. I've got to make money to earn a living, but I'm not going to rip people off. I look after people, and I always have done in the hobby. You can ask anybody who I've helped out in the past. They phone me, message me, and I'll go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you've helped me in the past in my old pond, and that's why you're here today in a new one.
Yeah.
So I could sort of stand with that. The system you'll be putting in here is going to be the second part of this video where people can see, and if they wanted to pop around here to have a look at what I'm running. I mean, this is probably a little bit bigger pond than most, 6,500 gallon.
Yeah.
But it will be probably a similar system to most people would use. Maybe
Yeah.
some smaller, some larger.
I would, because of the system I've built, it works better with 2 membranes.
Right.
I've tried it with 1 membrane. It does work, but what we do then, we put the pump on, we put it through the first membrane, and we rework the water into the second membrane. That's why the waste is so low. So typically you're going to get 4 parts per million out of both membranes, and a waste of 0.75 to 1 litre of waste, and 5 to 5.4 litres of pure water. And this works very well. Now you can tailor it to every pond. If you've got a smaller pond, you haven't got to run it all the time.
Right.
I provide timers, digital flow meters on everything. Everything's proper. It's a proper build. You'll see on the next video when I've installed it. The pleated filters what are in the filter housing, the pre-filters, the pleated washable filters. So you take the filters out every 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, depends how clean your pond is. You can jet wash them in 10 minutes, put them back in again, switch the unit on, back on again. It's
Right.
all automatic. It's got its own auto flush system, and it just looks after itself.
For somebody like me who used to travel before COVID a lot, so I'm out of the country 10 days at a time, it's not a problem, right?
No, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem. If you've got somebody looking after your pond, I'm not one of these people who isn't contactable. I'm contactable all the time. If you've got a problem, switch it off, get in touch with me, and I'll come and have a look.
Right.
I'm based looking after customers.
No.
I'm from the koi hobby. I've been in it 28 years now, and like I said before,
Yeah.
people know what I'm about. I'm not about ignoring people. I'll come and sort it out.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're here, and I'm looking forward to getting the system in. For the first reason is really to save money on my water bill,
Yeah.
but then also for the second reason to stop the pH swings. One of the things I've been getting a lot of message from people is my koi seem to flash around the same time because we've had a bout of really hot weather,
Yeah.
and the fish are jumping and they're starting to treat, they're starting to scrape, and they can't find the problem. And it's really down to photosynthesis and pH swings.
Yeah.
And this would help keep things a little bit more stable,
Yeah.
and also it help produce. The only environment that the fish is in the water, and if we could make the water better, in my book, that's what you got to do.
If you think about this, we're not fish keepers, we're water keepers.
Water keepers, that's it.
That's
yes.
what primarily what it is.
Yeah.
It's about providing fresh water for your pond, taking chlorine out of the
Yeah.
water, getting rid of that, because I've seen the effects of what chlorine does. And you're looking after your pond water. You look after your pond water, the fish will look after themselves.
itself,
You just got to
yeah.
keep pouring food in there,
Yeah.
and they'll eat it, and they'll thrive on it.
Well, one of the mistakes, I mean, we've been in the hobby for a while, and we've started off with Vortex and barrels, blue barrels, and and you've seen inside I've got discus and stuff. The thing is, today's generation in the koi hobby, they come in and they go straight from zero to hero. So they start with a drum filter. I'm not against it, and you're not against it because you have it. Bucky showers, all the floating K1, bubbling like rice and stuff. And they haven't really understood water, and they think just by sticking the latest tech on their pond, the fish is going to be all right. But it's more than that. It takes some skill.
Yeah, especially with your tap water as well. I mean, I am going to provide like a pond visit. If you want a pond visit, I'll come over. I'll charge for it, obviously. I'll test your tap water. I'll test what chlorine it is, what you're dealing with, how many parts per million. I'll test the purifiers and see if they're working properly. I want to provide this to be affordable for everybody and provide the best water possible. And that's what I'm about. I should do that. People get in touch with me. I'll come out on a pond visit and do all that. As you well know, there's carbons on the market. I'll provide every carbon what there is going.
Right.
But sometimes you get what you pay for. You can buy cheap carbon, buy one carbon and buy it once, or buy a cheap carbon and keep replacing it, and it's junk.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody's got different pockets, and I've got to provide for everybody.
Well, the common mistake that I see people do is they said, well, I changed it 3 months ago, so it should be fine. I've had to change carbon within a month because of the chlorine they've dumped down the pipes.
Now,
so
the other thing I'm going to stock is sodium thiosulfite. Probably people have heard of sodium thiosulfite. It's hard to say.
Sodium T.
Yeah. Now I had it 3 months ago. I changed my carbons, and the fish looked, what's all them? They're flashing and messing about. So I checked the chlorine content coming out of the purifier. It should have nothing. It should be zero.
Yeah.
And I got chlorine. Thought, right, I'll test the pond water. And I got chlorine in the pond water.
Yeah.
So a quick fix sodium thiosulfite's done. So the purifier was turned off, different cartridges, changed the cartridges, got rid of the chlorine upon happy days. So I'm going to provide that as well.
Right.
So
Nice
I'll be selling that as well. So there's lots of things that I'll be doing, and also building and selling our recycling units and selling all the parts. If people want to build it for themselves, they can build it for themselves.
Well, if they're like me, I can't even build Lego. So that's why you're here to do it. I'll get the bits and we'll film you. So the next part of this video, when the camera comes out again, this is part one, is we're going to film you putting it together and with the system running. So, and if people want to come and see my pond to see what it looks like, once, within social distancing, that's what we're doing today as well. Yeah. They're more than welcome to. But, you're a friend of mine, Andy, so I wish you all the best. And that's why you're on here. Because we all look after each other, And that's what the hobby's about. We look after each other,
Yep.
we help each other out, and you've helped me out over the years, and that's why you're on here. And also, in this way, this is helping people out because it'll help save their fish, help in a lot of ways save people money from what they
Yeah.
spend going down to water bills. Because if I read government reports right, eventually, however long they take to get to it, they want every house on a water meter. So
Yeah, it's
that's going to change.
It's coming.
Yeah.
At the moment, if you move house, the water meters are all already installed, so you're straight onto a water meter.
Yeah.
All new builds of water meters.
Yeah.
It's going to come because the water authorities are going to do it.
That's how it is going
just,
to be.
It's
So,
just on a time limit now when it's going to happen.
so the next time we get the camera out, it will be you fit in
Yeah.
the new system, the Rolls Royce system, so we can
Yeah.
all look and see what you're doing. Thank you very much.
No bother. Thank you.
So one more time, what's your company called? The website?
It's FFIS. It's Finch Filtration Innovation Systems. So the website name is ffis.uk. The website's being built this week.
Yes.
As soon as I've got my logo sorted out, there'll be a Facebook page and an Instagram page. I'm not savvy at doing that. My son's going to set that up because
okay.
I'm not that sort of way inclined. But yeah, it'll all be set up.
But meanwhile, they could contact you on Facebook. Andy
Facebook,
Finch.
message me if you want any purifier parts. I stock everything from Pentec all the way through all the different spectrum, all sorts of cartridges. If you want any cartridges or any information, just get in touch.
All right, cool. All right, Andy, take it easy.
Brilliant, thank you.